What's up, guys? It's Jay, MorninAfterKill, and I'm back here on my road to 30. This is a series that I do on my channel where each week we take 1 year of my life and we talk about the significant events and memories that have come to shape the person that I am today. And right now, I am 29 motherfucking years old. By the time this series is done, I will be 30 motherfucking years old. And this is episode 21, which means in this episode, that's right, I turned 21 motherfucking years old. And last episode, we left off with me and my son's mother pretty much breaking it off. We felt that we weren't a good match and that we couldn't be together. But we decided to stay roommates. We would share this house that she had. I had my own room, which had my own door, and I could come and go as I pleased. And it was a little bit easier arrangement since I was able to watch my son during the day, and she was able to watch him at night when she went over to her parents' house. Now, we thought this was gonna be a good living arrangement. This is a terrible living arrangement. You do not want to be roommates with your ex. Trust me, it does not work out. So, by this time I mentioned that she was a little bit of a hoarder. She did have a lot of things inside this house. And by this time, she had Rubbermaids, like those little Rubbermaid tubs all over the fucking house. I'm dead serious. Like, in the living room, there was shit you not, like at least 10, 15, maybe 20 Rubbermaid tubs full of shit that we didn't need in the house, and I kept trying to throw it away. She didn't want to get rid of it, so this caused a constant, like, push and pull stress between me and her, because I was constantly trying to throw shit away. She would constantly keep bringing it back in the house, and even one day, it got to the point to where she couldn't even see what my son was doing. He reached into the fridge and grabbed the can out of the fridge. Now, if you know anything about kids, you're not supposed to keep the fridge open. We had this little latch on there, and he learned how to fucking undo this latch and get in the fridge. And there was a can in there of some SpaghettiOs. I'm pretty sure it was SpaghettiOs. Now, you're not supposed to put a refrigerated can inside of the fridge because that is a terrible thing because, you know, cans can have bacteria and shit. And she was the type of person that would not take the metal off the can all the way. She would just tuck it back into the can with a little... Well, my son grabbed the SpaghettiOs, and I shit you not, I heard the worst sound you'll ever hear in your life. It kind of sounded like a baby hyena that got fucked in the ass and then shot out of a cannon. I'm dead serious. It was like, that's what it did. I swear to God. Well, anyway, I come out there and my kid is standing there with a can dangling from his finger because he got it caught in between where the fucking, you know, the metal can was pushed down. He pushed his finger in there to try to get some SpaghettiOs and it was stuck. He couldn't pull his finger out. So, I know this isn't funny, but he literally had the can dangling. He came in there and he looked at me with this little face. He's like, you know, and I had to fucking grab his arm and stop him from pulling it and push the metal of the can down, cutting him a little bit, and then was able to get his finger out because it relieved the pressure on the side of the can. Man, that fucking scared the shit out of me. It was just a little bit of a boo-boo, though. He didn't need any stitches or need to go to the hospital. So, you know, like I said, when I grew up in the hood, you didn't go to the hospital unless you were dying or bleeding to death. So, he really didn't need to go to the hospital. We put a Band-Aid on it. It was no big deal. So, she would go to her parents at night, and I would watch him during the day because we figured out that would be the better situation. And while she was at her parents', this is the time that I kind of reverted a little bit. I started going back to the hood. I started partying all the time, and we were just hanging out. And then one night, I was headed back to her house, and I shit you not, we've talked about cars and clouds of smoke in this Road to 30 already. You have not seen a cloud of smoke until you saw the cloud of smoke that my Beretta produced. Right, what happened was the exhaust fucking clogged up. And the catalytic converter started getting hot as shit, right? So this thing was glowing, and literally on the way back to my house one night, the fucking exhaust went BOOM! Popped off the exhaust in the back. This shit sounded like a Chevy 454. It was shooting flames out of the exhaust right at the gas tank, and then the fucking head blew on it because one of the valves burned up because of the exhaust popping off, and it was just a terrible situation. And I am driving in a black and white cloud of smoke back to her place, and my Beretta, which I paid about $175 to $200 for, and put through an entire year and a half worth of garbage. This car went through everything. I put literally almost 60 to 70,000 miles on this car since I had it. And that is a lot of miles in 1 year. So R.I.P. Beretta. The Beretta has finally tanked and I parked it. And I actually had to get rid of it because her parents didn't want this hunk of junk sitting on their goddamn fucking property. So I called the wreckers. They came out and they gave me $250 scrap for this car, which means I ended up getting paid $75 to drive that car for about a year and a half, which was not a bad deal. I love that car. That car was fucking amazing. So my uncle, who just bought a brand new car, he was like, yo, I have this car, it doesn't run, it keeps throwing timing belts. If you want, you can come fucking pick it up. And I went there, I looked, and it was an 85 two-door Chevette. Now, if you've ever seen these, they look like Dodge Omnis. They pretty much are a baseball hat on wheels. So now that my uncle has signed over the title to the ugliest car in the fucking world, I'm serious, this thing was the old mid-80s Chevy Gold, which in real terms mean it was shit fucking brown. And I asked her dad to come help me pick it up. He had a trailer and a big ass truck, diesel truck. So we went, pulled in, and we loaded this bitch up and we took it back to his house. And we pulled it apart and we noticed the reason it was throwing timing belts all the time is because the cam seal was leaking oil onto the timing belt, which would cause it to jump, and then the timing belt would fall off, and then it would chew itself up inside of the fucking timing cover. So we did this, and we fixed it in one afternoon, and this car ran like a motherfucking boss. So I decided to go and take this out for a test drive, and I went back to the hood to one of my friend's house, and I was like, yo, look at this. This is the ugliest car you ever seen. He was like, dude, you know what we need to do to this, right? And I was like, are you thinking what I'm thinking? He's like, yeah. So we went to AutoZone. We got in the zone. AutoZone. And I'm a terrible singer, but I love singing. But yes, we got in the zone. We went to AutoZone. And you know what we did? We bought $20 worth of spray paint, black spray paint, chrome spray paint. I bought a few stickers, and fucking we took this back to the area, and I sawed off the exhaust, put on a little cherry bomb exhaust, and we spray painted, literally right there in the street. We spray painted this car from shit brown to black. Now, since we were hoopty riding this car out, we didn't give a fuck what it looked like, so we just put newspaper on the windows and shit. We didn't worry about fucking really taping it off too well. And I mean, this thing, the paint had runs all over it. You could tell it was totally fucking spray painted. But you know what? It was awesome when we got done because it was black spray painted. We spray painted the steel wheels chrome on it, and it also had a little bit of a cherry bomb exhauster. Now, it was a little bit of a rice burner, but it was back wheel drive. So this thing was the best G-ride that you've ever fucking seen. So we decided to go take that out for a ride, and we went down to Philly, and we fucking drove around a little bit, and then we went back home, and then her dad actually came to the house where I was staying at with her daughter, and fucking, he was like, yo, where the fuck you been? I was like, what do you mean where I've been? He's like, we thought you were broke down on the highway somewhere. I was like, oh no, look, I was spray painted the car, and he was like, what the fuck would you do that for? You fucking came here, you asked me for help, and then you go for a test drive and you don't come back for 4 motherfucking hours. You know what? I'm done with you. Fuck you. Don't ever ask me for help or anything ever again. And I was like, whoa, dude, you know, I was excited. I had a car that was running again, and we went and hooped it up. He's like, I don't give a fuck. You're done. And he disowned me from his side of the family. And that is the last time that I end up talking to her father again. And this was fine by me, because I really didn't want to go to her parents' house anymore anyway. All I wanted was for him to pick up the car with the trailer. I was going to fix it myself, but he decided to give me a hand with it. I thought he was just being a good guy, but no, turns out that he was actually trying to use this car as an agenda to get me and his daughter back together, something of which both of us really had no plans on doing. We have already told each other that we were completely wrong for each other, and even though we had a kid together, we weren't gonna let that come in the way of us just being normal acquaintances, being normal friends. So this is what marks in my life the summer of the Chevette. We ended up taking this car everywhere. One night we took it down to Philly and we were driving around and this thing was loud. Like I said, it had a little cherry bomb. It was like, "Whoa," and we pulled up and we had a fucking big ass truck next to us. We were at the light and we were chilling. We were fucking what we used to call cruising a blunt, which means we had a couple blunts and we were fucking smoking them while hotboxing the car. And we pulled up at a light and this dude looked over and goes, he looks at it and goes, "Yo, it's a Chevette," to his buddy. And his buddy looks over and goes, "Yo, we used to have one just like that." And I was like, "That's what's up." He's like, "Yeah, we used to call it the Shitvet." So this is actually where the Chevette got its nickname, the Shitvet, from the guy down in Philly that we were just cruising blunts, hanging around, and they were actually pretty cool guys. And I did a little bit of a burnout and took away because this little four-banger still broke tires loose. It was actually pretty hilarious. Now, we were just cruising around Philly and I ran a red light, because if you ever been to Philly and you drove around, there are what's like 5 or 6 way intersections and the lights are all different cockeyed, and I thought we actually had the green light. I blew the red light. We got pulled over. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I shit you not, I had like 5 people in this little ass hatchback. And we were just cruising around with fucking weed in the car, and goddamn it, the cops pulled up and they're like, "What are you assholes doing?" We're like, "We got lost on the highway, we pulled up, we're trying to make our way back to New Jersey," and the cop was like, "Look, I know you kids come down here, you're trying to have a little bit of fun, but you know what? Get the fuck out of our state." And the cop followed us back onto the highway, and then when he pulled over to the side, he goes, "Don't let me see your car in Philly tonight. If you do, I will bust you for drug possession." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, we can smell it." So, anyway, we ended up hightailing it the fuck out of there, up 95, back into our fucking area, and we were all thanking our lucky stars that the cop that night really didn't feel like doing any paperwork. He just wanted to see us get the fuck out of his city, which, you know what, is fine by me. But like I said, this Chevette caused all types of hell all over the place. We went down to the shore one time. Let me tell you about this. We had, I shit you not, 9 people in the Chevette. We had like 4 people in the back. We had the 2 people in the bucket seats, and then we had 3 girls laying down in the hatch. Yes, we were all fucking trashed. We were driving around having a good time, but like I said, we weren't driving drunk. That's one thing I wouldn't do at this time. I would not drive while drinking. I was always a designated driver, but that doesn't mean that I wasn't smoking a little bit of weed. Like I said, I was a terrible judge of what I should be doing at this point in time. But you know what? This car has some of the best memories with it. That night we were driving around down the shore. We fucking went to the boardwalk. We played the games. We went on to the beach. We had a good time. And then coming back with 9 people, we were going over the bridge from Toms River. If you ever been to New Jersey and you know going into Toms River to Seaside Heights, which we used to call the Z-Side Heights, which is actually a pretty accurate portrayal of the type of chicks that you would pick up in this area. But we were going over this huge bridge, and with 9 people in this car did not want to go. I'm shit you not, I was flooring it to get this car up the bridge, and it was barely gaining any speed, and we hit a bump, and boom, the muffler falls off out the back, right? And the muffler rolls down like 10, 15 feet, and we fucking pull over, and my buddy was like, "Dude, yo, I got this shit," and he got out, and he ran, I shit you not, he picked up the muffler with his bare hands. Like, I know he's never really worked on cars before, but, you know, common sense, you don't pick up a muffler that's been on a car. Exhaust is hot. I don't know if you guys know how hot it is, but he picked up, and as soon as he picked up, he was like, "Holy fucking shit!" I swear to God, he burnt the shit out of his hands that night. And we were all like, "This motherfucker picked up the exhaust." So we actually had a blanket in the back of the fucking Chevette, and we ended up fucking wrapping it up in there, and fucking pretty cool. So we had to actually stuff that on the floor in the front seat. That way none of the people laying in the back would be laying on a hot-ass muffler. But speaking about hot-ass, that's what these chicks were that we were hanging out with. They were some pretty young girls. They were like 18, 19, and they were new to the area, and those are the girls that we were hanging out with. And the reason they were hanging out with us is because this summer is when ecstasy hit our town really big. and everybody was trying to get it on. I seriously, when we used to fucking go around, we used to have like 3 people out front, and we'd be like, yo, you feel like rolling tonight? Yeah, we feel like rolling tonight. By the end of the night, by the time we actually called up everybody and got everybody that wanted to roll, we would have like 20 to 25 people chilling out front of my friend's house trying to buy some ecstasy. So we decided, you know what? We needed to pick up a large amount of it. So I decided to take a ride with one of my buddies down to Philly. He was like, yo, we're gonna go pick up a really large amount of some shit. And I was like, alright man, that's no problem, that's all good, you know, I'll roll with you. And we were rolling down fucking 95, we picked up everything was going good. It was like, I shit you not, 9 o'clock in the motherfucking morning, and we were rolling balls, and we got pulled over on 95 by a cop in Philly. Once again, this is a really cop-infested area, and he was hauling ass with his little Altima through traffic, and we were probably going about like 90 miles an hour, and when the cop pulls him over, I shit you not, this motherfucker pulls over to the left-hand side of the highway, in the middle of the road, in the median. This is where he decided, this is good enough for me to pull over. And when the cop pulls up to the car, he goes, what the fuck, are you trying to get us killed? And he was like, what do you mean you pulled me over? He's like, yeah, you're supposed to pull over to the right-hand side of the road into the shoulder lane. And he was like, man, there's a lot of traffic. And the cop was like, I was gonna get us over there. I was gonna direct us to that area. And he was like, man, I didn't know about that, I'm sorry. And he goes, here, he hands him his license. And I shit you not, like, my fucking head, I was like, oh my god, we are going to fucking jail. He hands him a license, and it's not even him on the fucking license. It's some dude that I've never met before. And I was like, alright, yeah. So I'm just sitting in the back. I have like a fucking quarter ounce of weed on me, which isn't a lot of weed because it was a lot of fucking compressed weed. It wasn't none of that good fucking medical grade Cali shit. So, you know, it's probably like only a little bit of a handful, but it's probably some of the densest, nastiest fucking weed you could ever find. It's probably like, I would rate it a 6 on a scale of good shit. It was like pretty nasty, but you know what? We were able to get a large amount of it very easily, and that's the type of shit that we used to sell, not smoke, but you know, I had it on in my pocket, and fucking my buddy was like, dude, yo, and he looks in the backseat, he's like, dude, you need to eat that shit right now. And I was like, what about you, motherfucker? You're giving him a license that's not even you. He's like, it's all good. I was like, why? He's like, it's a white cop. And my buddy, he was black, and he's like, so? And he goes, we all look alike, don't we? And I was like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, dude. Now is not the time for jokes. But guess what? The fucking cop comes back, and he's like, alright, let me get the other registration and shit. He ran the license, everything was clean and good, so he wanted the insurance and registration, he gave it to him, and we're sitting here on the left-hand side of fucking Route 95 in Philly, 9 o'clock in the morning, rolling balls on fucking ecstasy, and I got a quarter ounce of weed in my pocket. He's like, dude, eat the weed, man, eat the weed, I got no insurance. And I was like, why the fuck are you gonna give him a fake license if you ain't got no fucking insurance anyway, motherfucker? And he's like, I didn't think he was gonna run it. I was like, you fucking asshole. So I'm sitting in the back with this handful of nasty ass fucking weed, and I am shoving this shit in my mouth, and I got fucking sticks and stems and seeds all over my shirt. I'm back there coughing it up, and I'm fucking trying to wash it down, and I actually end up getting all this weed down before the cop gets back to the car. And the cop goes, what's wrong with your buddy in the back seat? And he goes, oh no, he's been up all night partying, we're giving him a ride home, he doesn't feel too good. So it's like, alright, whatever. The cop is like, look, your insurance is expired, but there are insurance on the vehicle, but you don't have actual fucking, he didn't have the actual insurance card with him, he had the expired insurance card. He's like, look, I'm gonna have to impound your car. So he calls the fucking tow truck, and he picks up this car, and he impounds it, and he drops us off, I shit you not, in the middle of fucking Philly on Allegheny Avenue, like just out in the middle of fucking right in the hood. Just, you know, this is a hood that we're not familiar with. This is not our area. So he's like, all right, you know, there's a train station like 3 blocks from here. You can walk up there and catch the train back up to your fucking area. See you guys later. I'm like, you can't drop us off at the train station? He's like, no. By Philadelphia law, you know, all I have to do is drop you off on the next exit. So he goes the safest place, and he drops us off at a goddamn gas station in the middle of Allegheny, Philly, which is like, really? Seriously? That is not a very safe area, officer. Fuck you, motherfucker. But the biggest thing that's on the back of our mind is this motherfucker just got a car impounded with like a pound of weed in the trunk and like a good nice little baggie of some e-pills that we were gonna have for later on that we were gonna party. I'm like, God damn it, motherfucker! Why would you fucking take a car with no fucking insurance? Why? Why would you do that? He's like, I don't know, man. He's like, hand me some of that weed, man. I'm gonna roll up a blunt. Oh, got the fucking weed, motherfucker! I fucking ate it like you told me. He's like, I didn't think you were gonna eat all of it. Why the fuck would I just eat a handful of it and save a blunt in case we're going to jail? And he's like, yeah, that doesn't make too much sense. So he's like, good job, dude. You ate the weed. Good job. I swear to God, this was like the most frustrating point I've ever had being pulled over. So we actually had to get his car at an impound. We took the train back, told his girlfriend what happened because she's the one that owns the car. She grabbed the insurance card, and we go all the way back to Philly. Now, when they were putting this car on the tow truck, yes, all the fucking transmission fluid in his car leaked out. So now his car doesn't even fucking move, and we gotta go back to In the Zone. Auto Zone. That's right! We had to go back to AutoZone, as if this day wasn't frustrating enough. I had to walk into the impound lot and sit there and work on a car that we're trying to get an impound that has probably like $1,000 worth of drugs in the fucking trunk. God damn it! So, anyway, we actually end up getting everything fixed, and we just drive this car out of the impound lot. We get that shit 2 blocks away. He checks the trunk. Everything, I shit you not, nothing has been moved. Everything is still in the goddamn fucking trunk. So now that we're stacked to the brim with a large amount of supplies, the next couple weeks of this summer just end up being us hanging out in hotels. We used to go to the Econo Lodge all the time, and we used to rent rooms that had the hot tubs, and we had all these hot ass bitches hanging all around, and we were fucking smoking. And that whole summer, I shit you not, I probably used to do like maybe 6 to 8 hits of ecstasy per day, which is not something you should do. But oh my God, I felt like my brain was gonna fucking die. Like, oh shit. This one time, I swear to God, I was just sitting there, and don't ever do this. I was fucking sitting there twiddling my thumbs while the E was kicking in, and I got stuck into a loop of twiddling my motherfucking thumbs for 11 hours straight. God damn, this is not something that you want to be doing, but this is part of my life and a very big part of it because we were about to head up to New York City once that ran out, and we were gonna meet another friend. Now, I decided to go up there alone, and I am taking my Chevette, and it's like 10 o'clock at night. On my way up to New York City, I am going through the tunnel that's right by Newark on the turnpike, and I shit you not, this car, I had this thing maxed out. It was like 90, 95 miles an hour. It was on bam, 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 through the fucking tunnel, right? And I shit you not, it was bouncing off the rev limiter in fucking max gears. And right as soon as I got out of the tunnel, I heard boom! And I looked at my hood, and my hood shook, and I was like, oh shit! Swerved off to the side of the road, fucking limped that shit as far as I could, pulled over. I was like, what the fuck just happened? So I start the car up, it wouldn't start. I ended up fucking limping it, I think maybe about like, good fucking like half mile down the road to the next exit, and I parked it, and I walked off the next exit. I'm like, that's great. It's like fucking 10:30 at night, 11:30 at night, and I am stuck in Newark. Of all goddamn motherfucking places, I'm stuck in Newark. I had no money on me, except the money that I was gonna use that was part of my friends, and, you know, I didn't want to use that to fucking pay to fucking tow a goddamn car I got for free home. So, I swallow my pride, and I put my tail between my legs once again, and you know who I'm calling. That's right, I call up my son's mother, and I was like, hey. She's like, hey, what's going on? You haven't been home in a few days. I'm like, yeah, about that. Can I get a ride? And she's like, where are you at? Where are you? And I was like, I'm kind of stuck in Newark. what the fuck are you doing in Newark? I was like, I was heading up to the city. I was going to party tonight. We were going to have a good time. And she was like, that's your own fucking fault. I'm like, look, you cannot leave me stranded here in Newark. Alright? The bus station, the fucking train station, it's all closed. The next fucking shit out doesn't start until 6:30 in the motherfucking morning. And I don't even know where the goddamn train station is. I was like, look, I am right off the turnpike. And I need you to come pick me up. So by the time she ended up getting up there, it was like 2 o'clock in the motherfucking morning. And let me say, she was not pleased. Now, if you ever had to call somebody and get a ride and it's a really long ride home, you know that it's not very fun. Because she was like, look, this can't go on. You can't be partying like this. And I had to hear an entire lecture from her, I shit you not, for the 2-hour ride home down the turnpike. Now, it should have only took about 45 minutes to an hour down the turnpike. However, she decided that she wanted to stretch it out and go about 5 miles under the speed limit, which is not very fun. So by the time we finally get home, I didn't want to hear any of it. I just fucking went to sleep. I woke up. When I woke up, I called AAA and I used my son's mother's AAA insurance. And I told him, I was like, look, there's a Chevette on Newark. It's like right off the turnpike. This is where it's at. This is the address. Go pick it up and bring it home. So they actually did. They towed that shit for free. Since it's like a free tow and anywhere within 100 miles. It was only like 90 miles away. Which I was like, thank fucking God. Because it would have cost like $400 to bring that shit home. And honestly, it probably would have been just worth just to fucking mail the goddamn title to the gas station I left it to and be like, here, take it. I don't want it. So this is like right before Ozfest. And now I have no car, no way out, and I am stuck at my baby's mama's house once again. And I'm like, God damn it, I need to get the fuck out of here. I need something to do because her house was terrible for fucking, like, the internet out there. There was no broadband internet. It was only dial-up internet. And this is the time when broadband internet was actually becoming more popular and people were having it. And I was like, God damn it, I can't fucking use this internet. We didn't have any money for cable. We were very, very poor, like I said, because, we lived in the house for free, but we didn't have much money. So we pretty much just had a stable place to live, but we didn't really have any extra amenities. And I've already watched every single VHS movie that we had. And I was like, God damn it, Ozfest is like 2 weeks away, and I have no car to get there. I've already bought my ticket. And that year at Ozfest was a great lineup. It was like Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, fucking God Forbid, Slipknot, a lot of really cool fucking bands. So I was like, man, I gotta find a way to get a car to get the fuck up there. But I didn't even have to because, like, I shit you not, a week before Ozfest, some dude came knocking at my door and he's like, yo! And I was like, what's going on, man? He's like, is that's your Chevette out back? And I was like, yeah, that's my Chevette out back. He's like, look, man, I want to buy that off you and give you like $200 for it. I was like, nah, man, I'll probably get a junk and I could probably get $300. He's like, well, what do you need? I was like, I need a car, man. I need to get a car so I can go to Ozfest, this, that. I fucking got a kid, gotta tote him around. And he's like, look, check this out. I have a car. It's not the greatest car in the world, but it runs and it drives and it'll get you to where you're going. How about I bring it by later, you take a look at it, and if you like it, we'll do an even swap. So he brings by the shittiest 88 Ford Taurus you've ever seen. And it was actually a 4-cylinder carbureted Taurus, which is like, it's a really early model Taurus when it has that shit in it. And it was like one of the first models ever fucking built, but everything worked on it. It ran, it drove, it just looked like a big pile of fucking donkey sack. But you know what? The Chevette wasn't any better. And fucking the Chevette, what actually ended up happening to it when I said the boom from the thing, we popped the hood and the fucking goddamn carburetor shot off the motor and got stuck into the fucking hood. It was crazy. But the guy that wanted this Chevette wanted to turn it into a drag race car. It was like a really light car. It was rear-wheel drive. And it had a big enough engine bay to shove a fucking Chevy 350 in. So he was like, look, I've been looking for a 2-door version of these forever, and I'm willing to give you a running and driving car for it. So we ended up doing a straight swap. I gave him the title, signed it off. He gave me the title, signed it off, and now I had a fucking car to go to probably one of my favorite concerts ever, because some really odd things happened at this concert. Number one, God Forbid played on the second stage. They are a local Jersey band, and they are probably one of my favorite bands. Now, I told you before that at Ozfest 2001, I missed my chance at a Slipknot drumstick. It hit my hand, fell down, and my buddy Kenny picked it up and went home with it. He ended up getting a Slipknot drumstick, which really pissed me off. But, you know what? Not doing anything about it, not saying anything about it to him, really paid off in karmatic dividends in this Ozfest, because I now caught a fucking drumstick from God Forbid at their set in a New Jersey Ozfest, and I grabbed it, and they were having a signing over at the Jägermeister booth. So I was like, fuck it. They're having a signing over there at the booth. I got something of theirs to sign. I'm gonna go get this bitch signed. And I got there, I waited in line, and I shit you not, by the time I got there, like halfway through the line, they decided that they were done signing, that they were gonna go on the Jaeger bus, and as they were walking by, I was like, fuck that! I ran over to the gate over there, and I was like, yo! And he fucking looked over, and I was like, yo, come here! And he fucking came over there, the fucking lead singer, God Forbid, I was like, look, dude, I've been waiting in this line forever, I know you guys are done signing, I caught this drumstick here today from your band, can you please sign it for me? And fucking he was like, oh, well, let me check to see if it is ours. And it had like electrical tape on it, because that's what drummers do. You know, they tape it up so they have a grip on there. And he fucking starts pulling the electrical tape off of it, right? And he reveals something that makes it even sicker. He pulls it off, the electrical tape comes off, and he's like, boom! Right there is the God Forbid logo stamped on the drumstick. I was like, oh my god, that is fucking amazing. He's like, yo, dude, come on, man. He fucking pushed the gate aside, and he let me come on to the Jaeger bus for like 5 minutes to hang out real quick while they all signed a stick for me. So I thought that was actually pretty cool of them. But later on that night at Ozfest, they announced that fucking Ozzy was not gonna be singing with Black Sabbath. He came down with bronchitis, and they were fucking moving kids out of there fast before they announced it. They were getting all the kids that, you know why? Because when fucking Judas Priest, you know, the fucking lead singer, Rob Halford, he came out and he started singing for Ozzy. Now, he wasn't doing a bad job, and this is a pretty cool moment in rock history, because, you know, Rob Halford only sung for Black Sabbath like 2 times before this, so this is like one of only 3 times that Rob Halford has sung with Black Sabbath, which is pretty cool. But you know what? Since this happened in New Jersey at the Camden Tweeter Center, you know what's gonna happen. That's right, garbage cans started flying, people were knocking over merchandise, and people were pissed. Rob Halford even took a Snapple bottle to the face. God damn, and he still sat up there and sang out the entire set. So you know what? You gotta give a lot of credit to a guy like that, that will get up there and face a rough New Jersey crowd in the middle of a riot that people are rioting because Ozzy Osbourne didn't show up to Ozfest. Ozzy Osbourne did not show up. How does Ozzy Osbourne not show up to Ozfest? Everybody was pissed, and shit got off the hook, and we decided to get the fuck out of there. Even though it was pretty fucking awesome to witness, nobody wants to be caught in the middle of a goddamn riot. So if you remember a couple minutes ago, I mentioned karmatic dividends, and this is what I'm gonna get because of all the fun, all the partying, all the great memories that I have from that summer with that Ozfest capping that summer out. I got some really bad news a few weeks later. My baby's mama came home with her brother, and they were like, look, you can't live here anymore. She decided that she does not want you living inside of her house. She doesn't like the fact that you're out partying all night and that you bring girls home to her house. And she's like, you know what? She's tired of it. You need to get your shit and get the fuck out of there. So I was like, look, dude, give me a day. Let me get my shit. We'll get the fuck out of there. So I'm fucking packing up all my shit. I'm like, god damn it. Where the fuck am I gonna go? I gotta go back to the hood. And it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm sitting out on the fucking front porch, smoking, fucking having a 40. She just comes out, she's like, this is it! We're done! You know, you had a day to get your shit packed up. you're out here smoking and drinking. You know what? You're going fucking out now. And she grabs my bags and she starts fucking tossing them into her car. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, you're getting the fuck out of here. And she fucking drives me all the way back to my hood and drops me off on my street that I grew up on at 2 o'clock in the morning with nowhere to fucking go. So I was like, God damn it. All my friends in the area are fucking sleeping. I don't want to knock at their door at 2 o'clock in the morning and be like, yo, I'm gonna have to live with you now. You know, I didn't want to have to do that. I thought I put this behind me. You know, my whole teenage years, I lived my life in a bag. And now I'm doing it once again. And I was like, man, fuck this. I'm so tired, so stressed out. I'm so worn out from partying all fucking summer long. And I was like, fuck this. I just broke into my mom's house and I fucking went upstairs to my old room where my bed still was, and I just laid the fuck down and went to bed. So like 20 minutes after I fall asleep, I guess my mom heard me break in and she fucking went around snooping around the house to see what was going on, and she looked in my room and saw me sleeping there, and she calls the motherfucking cops on me and tells them that I broke into her house and I'm trying to steal shit. So I was like, fuck this. I'm tired. I'm done of running. I just sat on the fucking porch and waited for the cops. And the cops got there, and the cop was like, you know, he knew me and my mom's history. A couple of the cops that, you know, worked in the precinct for a very long time. They knew the history that was between me and my mother. And, you know, the one time that she cut herself and fucking called the cops and said that I did it. Fucking, they knew my mom was crazy. And they're like, look, since we're treating this as a domestic dispute and not as a criminal dispute, we're gonna take you to the crisis center. And if you don't know what the crisis center is, the crisis center is pretty much a mental hospital. It is the top floor of every fucking hospital you've ever been in. That's why they tell you not to go to the top floor, because the top floor is filled with all the loony bin patients. But the cop was like, look, I don't feel like you belong in jail. You didn't really do anything wrong. You had nowhere to go. You went back to your mother's house. It's not your fault that your mother's a bitch. He's like, look, I'm going to take you. You're going to go into the crisis center and you're going to be evaluated for what's called a 72-hour lockdown. If there's nothing wrong with you, you'll be out by the weekend and you'll be fucking back home. You'll find a place to stay. Stay away from your mother. But I feel like you don't deserve to go to jail for this. And I was like, you know what? That's actually pretty cool. So he takes me to the crisis center, and, you know, they take all my fucking shit away. They take my fucking clothes. They give me, you know, plain white fucking shirt, plain white fucking cotton pants, and some motherfucking slippers. I gotta tell you, the slippers are fucking comfortable. But anyway, the doctor comes in and he starts talking to me and he starts evaluating me. And, you know, we go through my history. I tell him what happened with me and my girlfriend, you know, my mental breakdown, shit like that, and how we broke up and I had nowhere to go now. And the doctor actually decided that I was bipolar and needed to be evaluated for a longer period than 72 motherfucking hours. So I'm in a mental hospital. They put me in a mental fucking home, and I am gonna spend about 3 weeks under heavy medication of what's called Depakote. Now, Depakote is a type of medication that's supposed to balance out and even out people with manic depressive bipolar disorder. It's also used for, like, people with fucking, you know, neuropathy. And also, I'm pretty sure it's also for people with, what is that word? Autism! Autism. But since I didn't really need this medication, because I'm not bipolar, I'm not fucking crazy, this fucking medication has some adverse side effects, and it zombies me the fuck out, and I hate it. But since it was a condition of me to be underneath 2 or 3 weeks of medication before they fucking released me, I decided to just chalk it up, whatever, fucking take the goddamn fucking pills, zombie out for 2 weeks, and right before they released me, I started cheeking the goddamn fucking pills. You know what cheeking is? It's when you fucking stuff it between your teeth all the way in the back of your mouth, and you spit it out later. Yes, I started doing that because I did not want to go back out into the world as a zombie. I didn't want to be a zombie. Nobody wants... That's why zombie apocalypse happened, because people try to survive and not become a zombie. I don't want to take a pill to make me a zombie. So I started talking with the doctor before my release, and I tell him my concerns about the medication, and, you know, I actually open up about my drug use and things like that, about my past, and the doctor was like, look, it seems like that you might have a touch of bipolar disorder. I think you're more manic depressant than anything. But, you know, it seems like you've been self-medicating yourself with marijuana, and that's why you've never noticed that you were depressant or bipolar at this point in your life, because you've always been high and you use that to mellow yourself and regulate it. And the fucking doctor said one thing that stuck with me until this day, and he said, I would prescribe for you to smoke marijuana as part of your mental health rehabilitation. I would actually let you smoke marijuana, but because the laws in this country don't allow me to, I am not allowed to tell you that that you can go and smoke fucking marijuana. But you know what? In your case, it's not gonna hurt anything. It's probably gonna help you out more than anything, more than any of these pills will help you out. He's like, I saw you underneath the Depakote. The Depakote's too strong for you, and also the Zoloft was too weak for me. So he was like, the marijuana seems to be what's affecting your life to keep you normal. He's like, honestly, once you get out of here, you might as well just keep smoking weed. And smoke weed I did. As soon as I got out of there, they gave me $1.10. And they just fucking gave me 3 weeks of medication in a bag. And they were like, see you later. Thanks for stopping by, playing ping pong and eating cheesesteaks for fucking 3 weeks. You can get the fuck out of here now because we gotta get people that actually deserve to be in here. The only reason you're in here, motherfucker, is because you didn't want to go to jail. I'm like, I didn't want to be here, motherfucker. The cop didn't think I belonged in jail. And he decided that this was a better alternative because he had to put me somewhere. So I end up taking this money, getting on the bus, going back to my friend's house, and I have 3 weeks worth of manic depressant pills that I ended up selling to fucking some drug addict down the street that he wanted to use them to zombie himself out when he was fucking coming down from his heroin addiction. And, you know, they usually use, opiates for that, Suboxone, and they also use, methadone to keep, heroin, patients. But he used it to keep himself zombied out, to stop going out from doing heroin. And you know what? I was like, fuck it. I'm making money. He's not doing heroin. This is a win-win situation. So I take that money and I buy a large quantity of weed. And I was like, man, look, to my friend, I was like, I can't stay here in the hood anymore. I gotta get the fuck out. I got myself on unemployment and I decided to talk to my baby's mom and I was like, look, I need to get the fuck out of the hood. I can't stay here. Let me come stay with you for a few weeks until I can figure out what I'm gonna do and where I'm gonna go, and I will give you my unemployment checks. That way you could use that to fucking, buy food, whatever to have in the house and everything. And she was like, you know what, look, you seem like you're on point, I told her I was on medication at that point, because I just got out of the mental hospital. I wasn't on no medication. I had a big bag of weed. That's what I had. So I moved back in with my baby's mama, and it's like right before Christmas, and I met a girl online. Now, me and this girl would spend probably about 4 or 5 hours talking a day for the next 2 weeks. And there was no feelings for me. I didn't have no feelings for her. We were just becoming really good friends. And I told her my story, and she felt really bad for me. And it was like right before Christmas, and my buddy Mike was like, look, dude, he's the one that moved to California, and I gave him the $5, right? And he fucking left, and he fucking stiffed me for my $5. He's like, look, I have my place now here in California. We have room on the couch in the place I'm staying at. I told you before, if we don't get the fuck out of Jersey, that we're gonna fucking die. He's like, dude, you have the couch if you want it. You can come out here and live with me inside California. He's like, but look, you're gonna have to get a job. You're gonna have to find your own place sooner or later. You can't stay on my couch forever. I was like, dude, that is fine. So this girl that I was talking to for about 2 to 3 weeks, I told her that I needed to get the fuck out of California, but I couldn't because my fucking unemployment checks were going to my baby's mama right now, so I didn't have any fucking money, and I was self-medicating myself with a very large bag of marijuana that I didn't want to sell because I needed it. The doctor told me to smoke it. I needed to smoke it. So she bought me a one-way ticket to California. And I took my unemployment check, which was $125. And I told my baby's mom, I was like, look, I'm moving out. This is the last time you're going to live with me. We don't have to live with each other anymore. And she's like, that's good, that's good. And I told her, I was like, I'm moving to California. She flipped fucking shit. She was like, God damn it, you gotta fucking be here for your son and shit like that. I was like, look, I got nowhere to go, and you know damn well that I can't stay at your place. This is not a healthy relationship for me, for you, or a healthy environment to put our son around, because the tension is so fucking thick in this house. And she understood, and I took my money, and I spent the last entire day with my son. We went out to the mall. He was probably like almost 2 years old right now. And I went to the mall. I explained to him exactly why I was moving, where I was moving. He was probably too young to remember this, but you know what? I felt I had to do it for myself. And we went to the mall. I picked up some travel things that I needed. And then I went back to see my baby's mama one last time. And she wouldn't even give me a ride to the airport. She did not want me going. She's like, look, you want to go, you need to do this for yourself, then you need to get there yourself. So I took my bag, I took my plane ticket, and I got on the bus, and I went to Philly. Now, since I had to buy a red-eye flight, it was 7 o'clock in the motherfucking morning, I ended up having to go on the last train from Philly to the airport and sit from 10 o'clock at night till 7 in the morning in the airport, which would have sucked balls if the airport didn't have a lounge with a bar in it, and I was 21 by this point. So I'm just sitting in the bar, and I told the goddamn bartender my story, because he was bored. I let him know, this is why I'm going to California, whatever, and he was hooking me up with free fucking house beers all night long, because, beer in the fucking, I told him, I was like, look, I got $100 in my pocket, I want to drink some beer tonight. He was like, look, man, I got you. He just started fucking pouring me drinks, and it was a really cool night. But then 7 o'clock in the morning rolled around, and this was my first flight ever. And I'm sitting there in Philadelphia International Airport with a one-way ticket to California, one bag of clothes, $100 in my pocket, and I thought about it, and I was like, wow, I'm doing the same thing that my dad did to me. At the same age that my dad left me, going to the same state that my dad left New Jersey for. And it was at this point in my life that I realized, you know what? Maybe my dad didn't leave me. Maybe my dad was in a situation with my mother that wasn't healthy, that wasn't gonna be good for anybody involved, especially the kids that are in the house, and he decided that it would probably be best to leave. And it's at this point in my life that I actually let go all the anger that I had for my dad not being there for me, and I decided I'm going to California, going to a new state. This is my time. My time to reinvent myself, to become the person that I know I can be, to grow the fuck up and stop being a fucking child about everything and take responsibility for my life, because there is nobody in California that's gonna take care of me but me. And you know what? It's been that way my entire life. And I sat in line thinking that history's repeating itself. I'm doing the same fucking thing as my dad, but you know what? I realized that it might not be all bad. It might be for the best, and I can do this. I can make something of myself. I can prove to everybody that I'm not going to be the loser that my father is going to be. I'm going to take this opportunity that I have right now, and I'm going to make something of myself. I'm going to do something, and I'm going to get the fuck out of the hood, and I'm going to live a good life. So, my name is Jay, MorninAfterKill. Make sure you guys rate, comment, subscribe. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you could throw a thumbs up on this video, I would highly appreciate it, because it gives me motivation to make more videos for you motherfuckers that watch my motherfucking video. But also, don't judge me for some of the things that I've done in this episode or in my life so far, because you know what? We all fuck up, we all make mistakes, and you know what? I truly believe that it comes out to be for the best for everybody if you just do what you gotta do. And that's what I did. I did what I gotta do. So, my name is Jay, MorninAfterKill, and I'm gonna see you guys later.